Yo guys, welcome back. Seeing as though Boruto has a 1 week hiatus right now and you need your weekly fix, we are here to help you with that. We're here to give you that dosage. But before we get started, this video is sponsored by Anime Ryo. They sell Naruto, Dragon Ball Z clothes and other anime things you may want. Obviously there is a discount code called ABDSQUAD which you get 10% off your entire order. I've been wearing it myself in real life and people stop me like, God damn, you look good, man. Anyway, definitely check it out. Cue the intro, let's get this started. Momoshiki along with Kinshiki and Urashiki are all names derived from Japanese folk heroes. In Momoshiki's case, the legendary hero Momotaro. The folk tale has minor parallels to the folklore from which Kaguya was derived, which the boy arrives on Earth inside a giant peach and being raised by a family of commoners. Momoshiki's ability to create a dog, monkey and pheasant is also influenced by the character named Peach Boy Momotaro in the folklore story, as he befriends the three animals on his adventure in the story. Urashiki was named after a Japanese folk hero, the legendary fisherman Urashima. His clothing and chakra rod weapon were also adapted from the folk tale. This is why you see in Boruto the anime he's using a hook-like weapon that resembles a fishing rod. He has displayed its use against Gaara, Tonori and Mitsuki. It seems to be his trademark and was an inspiration from Urashima. The story dates back from the 8th century and has been retold many times in many variations. It involves a fisherman who is rewarded for rescuing a turtle and carried it on its back to the Dragon Palace which lies beneath the sea. And once again, this has inspired Urashiki with the name of his jutsu called Palace of the Dragon King, which he used against Tonori. The jutsu takes shape of a black box which is inspired from the folk tale where Urashima received a box which had time freeze properties and later turned him into an old man after he spent centuries in the Dragon Palace. Kinshiki was named after a Japanese folk hero, the legendary warrior Kintaro. His gigantic form and stern demeanor were adapted from the folk tale. In one iteration and saying of Kintaro's story, it involves him serving for the samurai Minamoto no Yorimitsu. He later became a well-known warrior and legend himself. Maybe this is why Kinshiki is the server and retainer for Momoshiki and plays his role to help his orders, kinda like a subordinate, thus directly correlating with his counterpart role. Okay, so the first Otsutsuki introduced to the series was Kaguya, and in the attempts to generalize the design for her race, Kishimoto implemented common theme and inspiration to the other members of the Otsutsuki. The race itself was inspired from a Chinese folklore story of the moon rabbit, where in the folklore it's about a rabbit that lives on the moon. For instance, the horns on the members of the Otsutsuki clan are meant to symbolize rabbit ears, denoting a connection to the moon by evoking the moon rabbit, with Kaguya even being known as the rabbit goddess to her followers. The trend continued with Momoshiki and Kinshiki via the chakra pills based on the cinnabar elixir that the moon rabbit is depicted using a mortar and pestle to create in the Chinese folklore. Urashiki was originally designed by Masashi Kishimoto to be the third member of Momoshiki Otsutsuki's group in Boruto the movie that came out in 2015, but he was ultimately cut from the film along with Tonori Otsutsuki due to time constraints. His silhouette later appeared during the flashback in Naruto Shippuden episode A Fabricated Past, and when he was reincorporated into the Boruto anime, which we are all watching right now, this has obviously changed the plot we saw in Boruto the movie. This is likely the original draft and plan for what was to happen in the film but was cut. Kishimoto stated himself how after Naruto the Last had aired, his editors had already confirmed to him that Boruto the movie will be produced and he will have to write it. He decided the main theme for the movie was to focus on the idea between the bond of father and son, and the last scene had to involve Boruto and Sarada declaring their goals for the future. So because there was a 90-minute time limit on the script he wrote, in Kishimoto's own words he says, "At first I thought of including also Urashiki, but in the end I cut it. I wanted to create a parent-son like relationship also in the enemies and make it contrast with Naruto and Boruto." Momoshiki's introduction as an antagonist to the series was actually meant to be a parallel to Boruto's own story. Kishimoto wanted to highlight the traits of a true shinobi by showing two extremes, where Naruto would never take shortcuts to obtain power while Momoshiki would be seeking the needed pills, Boruto being at the crossroads of all of this. After the intervention of the Otsutsuki, he was able to clearly see the two paths which helped him mature from a boy into more of a man. In Kishimoto's own words, he said, "I decided a system of powering up by inheriting chakra generation after generation. Momoshiki is 176 centimeters tall and is designed to wear a Japanese style outfit with tall wooden clogs. The clogs seem very similar to the akobo, which was used by geisha during the Japanese history. Now I don't know what they are trying to say with Momoshiki, but this design resembles a lot of what geisha were like, such as the hairstyle, the skin tone on his face and the veil stuff. I don't know, is he supposed to be a trap?"
It's a trap!
Initially, with Momoshiki's design, he was originally based on the Ushi Wakamaru, who was Minamoto no Yoshitsune, a military commander of the Minamoto clan of Japan in the late Heian period and early Kamakura periods. However, this whole concept was scrapped and his design was changed to be like Kaguya, so yeah, he is kinda a trap.
Oh shit!
As mentioned earlier, Kinshiki's introduction was to go side by side with Momoshiki to follow the father-son relationship theme Kishimoto was going with, as it would contrast with Naruto and Boruto. Although Kinshiki's name and attributes are based from the Japanese folk hero which I mentioned, Kintaro, Kinshiki's illustration, attire and abilities were inspired from another Japanese warrior monk named Benkei, who lived in the later years of the Heian period. So a fun thing to note is that the main attraction of Benkei's character was his loyalty and honor, which made him quite popular in Japanese folklore. This heavily relays back to his relationship with his son. This is why Kinshiki is designed the way he is, because it draws direct inspiration to the idea, like taking a look at his tool creation technique. It's the exact same as the 7 weapons of Benkei. Benkei armed himself with 7 weapons and may be depicted carrying these on his back. Kinshiki is 231 centimeters tall, and his design, unlike the other Otsutsuki members, shows him with only one horn, which is above his left eye. The horn is shown to be broken remains of his actual horns, where the other half of his horn seems to be completely torn off. Kishimoto, even though he did not reveal much backstory about Urashiki and Kinshiki and all about their lives, he did illustrate battle wounds and broken horns on Kinshiki. Kishimoto was trying to reveal a greater story, like who broke Kinshiki's horns, who did that exactly. This is why it might be later dived into in the Boruto anime, hopefully. Masashi Kishimoto's character sketch of Kinshiki shows him to have normal sized hands, but this was changed in the anime. Personally, in my opinion, Kinshiki is easily the worst Otsutsuki introduced so far, and I'm sure you guys may agree. Let me know your opinion in the comment section below. The Otsutsuki powers are shown to be literally overpowered throughout the series, where the race would possess Kekkei Genkai such as all the dojutsu eyes we have seen so far and would release. However, not all the members are on the same power level. So I know within the Naruto community there are some fans that think Momoshiki and Kinshiki were weak enemies and defeated quite easily, but on the contrary, this might be completely false. If Naruto and Sasuke did not exist or were around to face them, the plan for the Otsutsuki to terraform the earth for a divine tree would be kinda complete. No other ninja would be able to face them. This is why Kaguya herself was producing Zetsu and an army of her own, because she knew they will invade in the future and she would have to fight them. From a logical standpoint, because the writing for the fight was limited by the film as we stated before, the time constraint was 90 minutes. To put it into perspective, think about Madara Uchiha being the villain of the movie instead. He would have to die against Naruto and Sasuke just as quickly for the purpose of time. If you want to think about power scaling, Naruto hit Kaguya with the Biju Rasen Shuriken times 9 and she didn't die, but that may be because she's immortal. Comparing this to Momoshiki, Naruto gave Boruto some chakra for a super big ball Rasengan and Momoshiki lost. Both Kaguya and Momoshiki have consumed a chakra fruit from a god tree. Kaguya is immortal, Momoshiki is not. Momoshiki's god tree in his dimension was withered and he came to earth to restore his power. But that doesn't mean Kinshiki and Momoshiki are weak. Hopefully the Boruto anime dives deeper into all of this, but from the look of things and the feats that they have achieved, this clearly less than Kaguya, right? Momoshiki seems to be just below Kaguya in terms of strength, but I guess Kaguya knew she would have to face 3 members of the Otsutsuki, and that's why she was creating an army. Now, let's finally talk about Urashiki, the new Otsutsuki guy. This dude, Kishimoto, has made clear in interviews and also in the manga that Urashiki is apparently the true big bad guy, much more than Kaguya and apparently more so even than Momoshiki. Urashiki had to be cut from the first Boruto movie, as we stated, but Kishimoto has indicated he'll be featuring in a big way later in the anime and in their arcs. We don't know a whole lot about Urashiki, but Kiji in the interviews and in the manga is hinting that Kaguya's self-destructive move to create the White Zetsu army appears to be motivated by her being terrified by Urashiki and even more than Momoshiki. Okay, now that we have mentioned the god tree a couple of times now in this video, and some of you may be scratching your head like, huh? I forgot about all that, what is that again? Well, the god tree is a gigantic tree which grows on a planet after absorbing the blood soaked into the ground from countless battles over a millennia. This is according to the Naruto the 4th data book.
Whoa. What?
Absorbing the blood soaked into the ground from countless battles over a millennia. So according to the Naruto universe, every 1,000 years a god tree produces a chakra fruit, which humans should never touch or consume. However, the Otsutsuki clans are the ones that are seeking it and travel through dimensions to consume them and gain chakra for themselves as well as immortality. This is why Momoshiki, Urashiki and Kinshiki arrive on Earth to harvest a god tree fruit, because they go to each planet, harvest a fruit, and usually the respective planet die. However, Kaguya on the Earth consumed the fruit and chose to settle on the planet and rule the world. The god tree in Naruto for Kaguya is a concept inspired from Abrahamic religions, in which Adam and Eve ate the forbidden fruit from the tree of knowledge, but in this case it's the tree of chakra despite being told otherwise. The god tree the Otsutsuki seek also seems similar to Yggdrasil from the Norse mythology, since it even has the dragon entities from the myths called Nidhogg. These Nidhogg dragons are trapped underneath the trees that bring about Ragnarok, or an ultimate battle. Maybe in the Naruto universe it's sealed away and that's Urashiki's plan and what he's trying to create, since he's a villain. I guess we have to wait to find out. Boruto the movie was directed by the animator Yamashita Hiroyuki. Making Boruto the movie was his first directing role. When he was asked what sort of things were difficult in making Boruto the movie, Yamashita stated it was to convey the certain images in my head to someone with words itself. Even that is difficult, but I was fortunately blessed with the great staff to work with. Now, as we mentioned many times before, Kishimoto wasn't able to give the full story of Momoshiki, Kinshiki, Urashiki, but the director Yamashita elaborated further, pointing out that after the main production of the movie, they had to bring the entire length to 90 minutes. So after a meeting with Kishimoto, they decided to shorten Momoshiki and Kinshiki's scenes, focusing the story on Naruto and Boruto. So in Yamashita's own words, he said, "I wanted to include scenes more carefully with Momoshiki, or continuing things with Boruto and Sarada with the ending. Especially when it came to Momoshiki and Kinshiki, they had to cut things. So maybe in the anime we are going to get more information." So all the missing plots and the lack of character development for the Otsutsuki is probably going to be addressed in Boruto the anime and become more balls deep. So even there are a couple of changes from the movie to the series, it's not actually correct to say that Boruto anime has retconned the movie. It's the actual original plot that was always intended to be like in the anime series and is always likely to be the original. Now, in terms of voice actors, Kinshiki is voiced by Horiyuki Yasumoto, the same voice actor who voiced Sado from Bleach, King from One Punch Man, and also Han and Son Goku from Naruto. Momoshiki is voiced by Daisuke Namikawa, who voiced awesome characters like Hisoka from Hunter x Hunter, Kid from One Piece, and Jalal from Fairy Tail. And lastly, my goddamn favorite, Urashiki, was voiced by Kazuya Nakai, who is pretty much legendary. Some of you guys may know he voices Zoro from One Piece, Mugen from Samurai Champloo, and also Toshihiro from Gintama. Personally speaking, he's my favorite. Anyway guys, let me know your opinion in the comment section below. I hope you enjoyed this video and you learned something new about these characters. Make sure to smash the like button as always. Make sure to hit the notification button and follow us on Twitter guys, and I'll see you next time in our next video.